Hey everybody, so I have a case of an unknown parentage, an NPE if you will, somebody who did not know who their biological father was. So welcome back to Client Stories with Amy. So she came to us not knowing who her biological father was. She did not get much information from her mother. Her mother was not much help at all. Her mother is kind of in her life, but she was in and out of her life for her whole entire childhood and adulthood. Her mom has some issues with substance abuse, and so our client was kind of left her own devices until one of her grandparents just dropped in one day and seen her all by herself, and they ended up taking custody of her right then and there. So she just didn't have anyone really to ask, and her mom, like I said, wasn't giving much information, wasn't much help. She either didn't know or she did know and didn't want to tell her. So our clients did a DNA test through Ancestry, 23andMe, and she did the upload to MyHeritage, and then she still didn't know what to do or how to figure out who her biological father was, or even just find some family. She didn't care at this point who she found, whether it was a biological father, a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, whoever. She just wanted some sort of connection to her biological father's line. So we get the most recent common ancestor on the first side of the family tree, and then we find the second most recent common ancestor, and we started building those trees downward, and we found a marriage between both families, which ended up being our client's paternal grandparent line. So we had grandma and grandpa in the tree. Grandpa was a doctor, so he was very documented in the newspapers, which kind of helped us find out who the children were, because it was a little bit tricky. The state that they come from did not have birth records for this generation online that was digitized, so we had no way of identifying who their children were without an obituary or looking at the public records database and hoping that all of the children were kind of listed in that thing. So thankfully, Grandpa was a doctor and he had a very public life, so it had all the kids listed in some of the newspaper articles, the little social pages, all of those things. So we were able to identify 4 sons. So we gave the client that information. So she ended up contacting every single one of these men, all 4 of them, one by one. Do you know my mother? Were you in this area at this time? You could be my father or my uncle. Would you be willing to do a target test to see what the relationship is? And each one of them said no. None of them admitted to knowing the mother. None of them denied being the father. But every one of them said, no, I'm not going to DNA test. So our client did the next logical step. She contacted their children one by one. One of them agreed to test, and just for whatever the luck was out there, I don't know what that was, but that good juju, that one person who agreed to test turned out to be a half sibling. So that confirmed that her father was the biological father. So the client then, along with this newly found half sibling, went to the biological father and said, hey, we did a DNA test and da-da-da-da. You're my biological father because X, Y, and Z. We have the DNA to prove it. He was like, oh, okay, well, welcome to the family, I guess. But it got better. I swear it's frustrating at first, but it got better. He came around, they met, they now have a good relationship, and she has a better relationship, she says, with her biological father that is a complete stranger than her own mother. That's crazy to me, but I get it. Not all families are picture perfect with that picket fence and the storybook ending, and thankfully for this case though, on her biological father's side, it was that picket fence and that storybook happy ending for her. She deserves it. But that's it for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to hit like, follow, and share. Go to our link tree, go find our YouTube channel, and go watch Lost and Found No More Secrets. It's great. If you need to become a client, you don't know who your biological parent was, and you have taken an Ancestry DNA test, go to that link tree and go to our website and request a search angel. But I'll see you guys later. Bye!